right, we got a lot of crazy people in the house, but they're taking off. Get out of here, you mangy mutts. Out of here. Everybody out. There's cupcakes in there. My son's birthday today, 10 years old. Cameron is 10 years old today. Unbelievable. Cannot believe it. He just was born, and now he's 10. Hey, close the door on your way out. Welcome in to the weekend update. That's right. It's me, Destino, here. Got a bunch of kids over for my son's birthday. It is pouring rain outside. We got a monsoon going out there. We need it. We're about 10 inches shy on rain this year, so we need every little bit of it we can get. Kids are everywhere. They're all over the house. They're making noise. Get out of here. Beat it. We got a lot of business to take care of. Anyhow, hope everybody out there has had a good week. It's been crazy. It's my club championship weekend. March Madness is not only for the basketball, it is also for Destino down here in Florida. It is absolute craziness for me. But we got through it. We got all our groups in. Last few groups had to finish the last hour and a half or so in the rain. But it is what it is. It's an outdoor sport, and we grinded through it. And now we're ready to relax. Got a cup of coffee with a little Amarillo, the nectar of the gods in there. Let us know what you're sipping on out there as we get ready for a great weekend of sports. March Madness right around the corner. This is the final weekend, I think, for most teams. Or week and a half or so, and then we start getting into the conference tournaments. Then we get into the NCAA tournament, and March Madness is absolutely going to be out of control. There is a regional down here in Tampa. I'm going to try to make sure I can go. I got to see. I think it's a Friday, Sunday, so I should be able to make the Sunday for sure. I just don't know if I can make that Friday work, but we got a lot going on. I was at the Yankees-Braves yesterday, getting some spring training action. Great to be at the ballpark. It's just nothing like being at the ballpark. Got to see the Yankees' entire roster play. Pretty much all the big guys there. It was pretty much maybe their opening day lineup with the exception of Goldschmidt started at first instead of Ben Rice, but they're probably going to flip-flop and platoon. I would think Goldschmidt will be going in against left-handed pitching. Yankees won big, had a couple homers, got to see Jazz Chisholm hit a homer, got to see the young prospect Spencer Jones for the Yankees. Maybe the next one coming through the line. Huge power hitter. He's like 6'6", 6'7", just like Aaron Judge. Huge power bat. So, and left-handed, he hit one. It literally went out of the stadium. I mean, it's not too hard to do, but it was a bomb. I mean, absolute bomb down at Steinberger Field. Absolutely ripped. So, we're fired up for a big show tonight. We got the NL Central and the NL West. We gave you our NL East last week. Before we get started with that, and then we get to the weekend college basketball games. Couple of games I like tonight in college basketball. Couple of games I like. You'll notice Miami of Ohio, undefeated Miami of Ohio, is down 30-26 at the half against 10 and 18 Western Michigan. Miami of Ohio was a 12.5-point favorite. They're down 4. This is live as we speak. What I'm saying now, let me see if I can get a line. I was going to take the over. Miami of Ohio scores a ton of points. They're still minus 275. They have not come out with a line on the, a spread live bet or a total live. They just have a money line on it. So if I get something that changes in that, I will let you know, and we'll get some action on that. I kind of like that over. We could have some live action while we're on the program. Now, a couple games I do like. Oh, son of a gun. I was going to give you a Dayton plus 4.5 against George Washington. They're up 6-0. Too late for that one. I apologize. Let's see. What else do we have? There's a couple of games that were 8 o'clock, I think. I mean, you got the huge game, Michigan and Illinois. And this is if you haven't seen either of these two teams play, you must be under a rock or you're busier than I am. These are two incredible basketball teams. I think 2 of the probably 8 or 9, maybe 10 teams that could win the tournament this year. And Michigan's probably the favorite. Actually, I was just looking at the odds. They're still the betting favorite, despite the loss against Duke. We lost that one. That was one of our few losses. Actually, no, we had the over in that game. We lost. Oh, so we did lose. We lost the over. That was one of our 3 losses. When we get to college basketball, we went 9-3 on this show last week. We were 9-3 on our college basketball last week. So we turned that beat around. I gave out 4 picks in my shorts over the week, and we went 1-3. So our grand total is now 23-22. I'm actually better than that, but those are since we started documenting. So one game over 500. Not going to hurt us, but a lot of times we got plus money stuff. So anyhow, I do like Appalachian State. So I'm going to add a couple of games to our ledger tonight. And these will go on our official record. I like Appalachian State +1 against Texas State. I like App State. They're a much better team. They're fighting for first place in that Sun Belt Conference. I like Appalachian State. They're the much better team. The other game we like is Akron and Kent State, under 165.5. All right. These are two teams that are fighting. It's a big rivalry game, fighting for it. Akron is a really good team. They're in the same MAC as Miami of Ohio, and that's a big game to watch. If Miami of Ohio were to stumble, Akron is right there with them in that conference because they only have one loss in the conference. That would give Miami of Ohio one loss in the conference. So you could see two teams from the MAC get into the NCAA tournament this year, and I wouldn't be surprised. They deserve it. And then the last game we're doing is we're taking Louisiana Lafayette +13.5. They're a feisty little underdog. They play everybody tough, the old Raging Cajuns. They're getting 13.5 against Arkansas State. Far too many. This game should be like 9.5, 10. We're going to take the extra 3 points, 4 points of value. We're going to take Louisiana. So those are the three games for Friday night. And then let's see if they've come up with an Miami of Ohio. Still nothing. They're not budging. You know what it is? I think the book's afraid because they're down 4. They were an 11.5 or 12-point favorite. They probably want to put Miami of Ohio as a -5.5 or a 6. You're right about that part. Spring training's the best. It's great. I mean, just the smell of the grass, the hot dogs cooking, the cold beer, the crack of the bat, the crack of the glove from the pitches, more intimate setting. I mean, you can't beat spring training down here in Florida. It's great. Obviously, me in Tampa, I've got a bunch of action. I've got the Yankees right here at George Steinbrenner Field. You've got the Blue Jays about a half hour away in Dunedin. I got the Phillies in Clearwater. They're not far. I can go east to Lakeland, about 45 minutes, and you got the Tigers. You got the Rays. If you go a little further south, you get the Cardinals and a couple other teams. So, yeah, it's fantastic. I wish I could go to more games. Unfortunately, busy season for me. So me finding time to get out and do that stuff is tough. But if you get a chance tonight, hopefully we'll get you out of here by 8:15, 8:20, and you can watch this Michigan-Illinois game. Going to be a great game. I mean, it's going to be electric in Champaign. I wish Michigan weren't coming off that Duke loss because I kind of like Illinois because I think they match up okay with them because they have the bigs. If Michigan faced a team that doesn't have bigs to rebound on the glass, they got no shot. And I still think Michigan probably neutral floor is favored against everybody. As you can see, they're still even though they're third in the country, they're still the betting favorite to win the NCAA championship. But before we get to the college basketball, we just gave you the 3 plays. Let's get into continue our Major League Baseball preview. Last week, we did the NL East. We told you we like the Phillies to win that division. We also like the Phillies over. We like the handful of unders in that division. I've been watching some stuff. People like the Mets, but I like the Phillies in that division. I think at +175, great bet. We're going to go to the NL Central, okay? We're going to work through this organically and go team by team. Let me bring this stuff up on the old phone here. I apologize, but we got to look it up on the phone. Oops, I hit the wrong button here. Here we go. And we're going to go through the NL Central. If you're in the chat, and you got a favorite, you got a team you like to win the NL Central, let us know. Let's see here. So let's go to view more bets. We are going to look at the team futures. All right. So we're going to start with the team that is projected to win the least amount of games, which I am assuming is probably the Pittsburgh Pirates. At 76.5, it is the Pittsburgh Pirates. So let's see. What are the Cardinals? It's weird to see the Cardinals this down because the Cardinals are usually one of those teams. There's actually Cardinals are projected 69.5. So let's start in St. Louis. Let's start in St. Louis with the Cardinals. I'm looking at their projected opening day roster. Let's go to St. Louis. I know they're kind of in that rebuild where they have a bunch of young guys. What on earth am I looking at? Why? Lineup tracker. That's what I want. I want the depth charts. There we go. Now we got the right page. All right, so we're looking at a lineup with Lars Nootbaar. Man, I got to get used to some of these guys. Ivan Herrera, Alec Burleson, Nolan Gorman, Mason Wynn, Weatherholt. Oh, boy. Now I see why they're at 69.5 wins. Woo! This is not a good-looking Cardinals team, which is so weird to say because they have always been a pretty solid team. Wow, this team is woof. I mean, at least if you're looking at it, you got 3 former first-round picks in the lineup. So that's kind of cool, I suppose. You got some young guys, but yikes, this is not not a good looking team here. I mean, you've got Mason Wynn at second baseman's a young prospect, seventh pick overall in 2024. So up the middle, that could be interesting. Nolan Gorman, a guy I held out high hopes for, former first round pick, a lot of power at third base. However, 32% strikeout rate. Don't love the lineup. I mean, I'm looking at the starting pitchers, and it's yikes city. I mean, not a single. I mean, the highest K per nine guy is 8 Ks per nine. This is not a team that looks very good, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I don't study them enough to know all their prospects and what they have. But if I'm looking at this team, this does not look like any sort of lineup that I have any interest in. I mean, this is just Wolf City. Nothing to really get excited about here. Oh, as the birthday boy comes and brings me out a piece of cookie cake. Thanks, Cam. Happy birthday, man.
Love you.
Love you too, buddy. All right. So St. Louis Cardinals, not seeing it, not feeling it. 69.5. What'd they win last year? Last year, the Cardinals won 78 games. So they're expecting a 9-win drop. I mean, I got to tell you, this looks like an under. I don't see anything here. Alec Burleson is their 3-hitter. Nolan Gorman's their 4, and he bats like 210 if he's lucky and strikes out 30% of the time. I don't want any part of this team. I like them under. I like the Cardinals under. I know it's crazy because they're a kind of franchise that's kind of always sort of good scouting, all that. I mean, their number 3 hitter batted 2. Okay, so Burleson's kind of solid. Batted 290 last year, 18 homers. I don't see a ton of power. There's a little bit of speed. I don't see the pitching. I mean, the bullpen looks terrible. I like under. I'll let you know at the end if it's an official play. So far, I like under on the Cardinals. All right, let's go now to most likely the next one are the Pirates, who are very interesting. 76.5. They had 71 wins last year, so expecting 6 more wins. Obviously, you have Paul Skeens, who's just out of this world. You've got another young pitcher named Bubba Chandler, who is a top prospect, one of the top 5 pitching prospects in baseball. He got a little cup of coffee last year. Speaking of a cup of coffee, let's keep it going. He got a cup of coffee last year. He's going to be in the rotation. Mitch Keller, Braxton Ashcraft, Jose Urquidy. You know, it's just too bad. It's too bad that some of these teams just won't spend money, because everything I hear is that it's a beautiful stadium, like absolutely beautiful on the river. I know one of our watchers and listeners, Peasy, lives there in Pittsburgh, watches a fair amount of the Pirates game, probably goes to the games. It's supposed to be a great ballpark. But you get these young players, and they just won't spend any money to supplement, because you've got some exciting players there. Or for sure, you got one of the most exciting in the whole MLB, O'Neal Cruz. They bring in Brandon Lau from a trade. They bring in Marcelo Zuna, hoping for a bounce back after a terrible year with the Braves for him. Brian Reynolds is always solid. He's a guy that's always linked on the trading block. A couple other young prospects. I mean, they've got the number 2 pick in the draft way back when in 2018, Joey Bardick, catcher. There's some players here, but they're going to have to win with that pitching. And I think, I'll be honest, I think the win projection's a little bold. I think they got them projected to be, 77. So that's what, 77 and 85 gets you to 162. This team doesn't look like they're only 8 games below 500. I mean, this is a team that I could see going on a cold spell with the bat and just not scoring runs. I mean, Paul Skeens only had a couple of wins last year, got almost no run support. I mean, the guy had a 30% strikeout rate, 1.97 ERA, was unreal. And what did he win? How many wins did he have? He went 10-10. With those kind of numbers, the guy goes 10-10. I think it's going to be like DeGrom when he was with the Mets when the Mets were bad. I don't like the Pirates going over either. I really don't. I like under 76.5 Pirates. I don't see it. I mean, Ono Cruz could be good. Other than that, the lineup's kind of underwhelming. Other than Chandler and Skeens, what are we looking at here? Skeens, come on over to the Yankees. We'll take you. We'd be happy to have you. I like under Pirates. I don't see anything. But that tells me when we go look at it, division winners, you got Cubs, Brewers, and Reds. Here we go. And we're going to get to one of my sleeper teams. I did some digging here. I like these Cincinnati Reds. 82.5. They won 83 last year. And I think they've gotten better. And I'll tell you, the same managers don't make a difference. I disagree. I think Francona is huge for them. I think Francona is huge for this young team. I like what the Reds are doing. They've got an exciting lineup. Let me go to their lineup so we can give you, I know the guys, but I want to give you their projected. Ellie De La Cruz, if you've never heard of him, this guy is about the coolest player in the majors. He's about 6'7", runs like a gazelle, hits the ball as hard as Judge, and he's a shortstop at 24 years old. He's unreal. They've got 5 former first-round picks in their batting lineup. You got TJ Friedel, Matt McClain, Ellie De La Cruz. They bring in Eugenio Suarez as a free agent with all that pop in his bat and that, great hitters. It's a great American ballpark, but great hitting park. Sal Stewart, up-and-comer, first-round pick. J.J. Bleday is probably going to platoon with a couple other guys. I think it's a decent lineup. I don't think it's a great lineup. They got a little bit of depth, but I like the starting pitching. They've got 4 first-rounders and a second-rounder in their starting rotation. Pagan is a decent closer. The bullpen's a little thin. The bullpen is not some kind of lights-out bullpen. Hunter Green at the top of the rotation, if he can stay healthy, is fantastic. Nick Lodolo's a 7th overall pick. Chase Burns looked amazing in a cup of coffee last year. Brady Singer, solid enough, eats innings. Andrew Abbott, same thing, eats innings. Bunch of first-round picks pitching. I like these Reds. I really like the Reds. Hunter Green, is this Burns? Chase Burns last year got up and pitched. How many innings did he pitch? He pitched 43 innings at the major league level, had a 13.9 K percentage. That's unreal. Throws a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. He's got a cutter, got a sweeper. This kid's pretty dang good, man. And they can throw those two at the top of that rotation. I don't know, man. These Reds and Hunter Green, if he gets stay healthy, is a phenomenal pitcher if you never heard of him. I think the Reds scare some people. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm adding them to my ledger. I am taking Cincinnati over 82.5. So it's going on my official ledger along with the Phillies over 82.5 for the Reds. I really like it. And I like them to win the division. And we're getting, what are we getting in this division? Plus 350. Ladies and gentlemen, I like it a lot. I like it. I'm taking the Reds plus 350. There you have it. So that, obviously that tells you what I think of the Cubs and Brewers. And not that I think they're bad, but I think just like I think the NL East is going to come down to the Braves, the Phillies, and the Nats, I think it's going to come down to Reds, Cubs, and Brewers. The boost from Eugenio Suarez batting fourth, giving Ellie some protection is going to be huge. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, and you see already Miami of Ohio, son of a gun, too bad. They've scored 17 points in 3 minutes since they came in the second half, and I was going to take the over, but they weren't offering it. I think the books knew. They were going to get killed there. Miami of Ohio can score. I watched a lot of their ball game last week. I think they played last Friday. They are very impressive. I'll tell you, they are very impressive. If you haven't watched them play, Miami of Ohio is a heck of a team, man. They are a heck of a team. So that's one to keep an eye on when tournament time comes. If they get, they're ranked and they're undefeated, so they're not going to really sneak up on anybody or be a Cinderella necessarily, but they're a heck of a team. Yeah, they've scored 20 points in less than 4 minutes in the second half. So they are cruising. They're on their way to scoring like 90-something in the second half, and that's what they do. They shoot the lights out. All right, we are going to go now to the Brewers are the next team. Let's see what we have for the Brew Crew. Or as I like to call them, the Rays of the NL. It's kind of what they are, right? And they do a good job. They won 97 games last year. They were the number 1 seed in the National League. And they get rid of Freddie Peralta, obviously the Mets. But from everybody that I listen to, watch, follow. Where's the Brewers win total? Why don't I have a Brewers win total? There's got to be a Brewers win total. I'm not seeing a Brewers win total, folks. I might have to go to another site. It's not coming up. Oh, here we go. Yep, we got 84.5, and they won 97 last year. That seems like an over to me as well. I mean, yes, they lose Freddie Peralta. They do some other things, but they're like the Rays. They just kind of find a way when it's time to pay people. And everybody I see says that they love the haul they got from the Mets, that they think they won that trade. They got like 3 young players. I think 2 pitchers and a position player. I mean, you look at this. I think Jackson Chourio is an absolute stud. Bryce Terang batting second, stud. Contreras, the catcher, stud. Yelich still got a little bit in the tank. Andrew Vaughn found complete new life when he got to Milwaukee, the 3rd pick in the draft in 2019, who I thought was going to be a tremendous, absolutely amazing college hitter, and struggled with the White Sox. That's more of an indictment on the White Sox development system, but because he went to Milwaukee and played great. Then you got Sal Frelick, Rengifo, nice little third baseman. He'll probably platoon with somebody. They've got some young guys on the bench. This is a pretty good-looking team. This is a good-looking team here. And then you go to the starting rotation. That's going to be a little question. Brandon Woodruff's coming off an arm injury, but when he's right, he's one of the best. You got Mizorowski, young player. Quinn Priester. They got some questions with the rotation, but they've got some depth because they got those pitchers from the Mets. Those pitchers they got from the Mets. Let me see these pitchers from the Mets here. Hang on. Where's the guys they got from the Mets? I know they got a couple of really good studs from the Mets. Yeah, Brandon Sprout they got. Let's see. Who was the other one they got from the Mets? I know they got somebody else. I'll look it up. But they've got guys down on the farm. Kyle Harrison, they made a nice trade with Boston. Got some pitchers from Boston. They got a pitcher from Robert Gasser from the Padres in a trade. They're like the Rays of the NL. They're the Rays of the NL. I'm taking so I like 2 overs. I like Brewers over. I think this division is coming down to Brewers and Reds. I really do. 84.5. I like it. I like Reds over 82.5. And if you want to get crazy, you could take Brewers to win the division, and you could take Reds to win the division because you got plus 240 and plus 350. So as long as one of them wins, let's say you put 100 on each, you're going to win 240, and then you'd lose 100, so you'd win 140. Or you're going to win 350, lose the 100, win 250. The only way you really lose is if the Pirates or Cardinals win the division. We think that's happening. Or the Cubs. I don't think that's happening either. Let's take a quick peek at these Cubs, who obviously lost Kyle Tucker to free agency. Signed with the Dodgers, which we'll get to in a little bit. But I think the Cubs got worse. I think they got worse. They caught lightning in a bottle there with Matthew Boyd. I like Edward Cabrera, Cade Horton, Emananga Shote. Jameson Taillon is kind of getting up there in age. He's nothing special. They're going to get Justin Steele back, really good starting pitcher. They're going to get him back probably in May. Bullpen, kind of suspect. Not a knockdown closer. I mean, they have Daniel Palencia, who was their closer last year. What did he get? He had how many saves? He only had a 1 WAR. Decent K percentage. Not a ground ball pitcher, fly ball pitcher. Did he have any saves last year? Yeah, 22 saves for them last year in 52 innings. It was okay. Kind of a high home run rate. Had a low BABIP, so he could regress a little bit there. Does throw a big heater, 2.91 ERA. What was his walks? Okay, his walks were reasonable, but that was a career low in walks. His cup of coffee in 23 and 24, he had way higher walk percentages, but he got in. But it's just not lights out. Losing Kyle Tucker is a big deal. You look at the lineup. Obviously, Pete Crow Armstrong, but he kind of struggled with the bat a little. Great, exciting center fielder. They bring in Alex Bregman for agency. So you got Michael Busch, Bregman, Happ, Suzuki, Pete Crow Armstrong, Nico Horner. I like Dansby Swanson. Ballesteros is a young player who they really like. He's going to probably platoon at DH. Carson Kelly, decent catcher. I mean, I think this team is okay. but I think they're getting overprojected. I mean, what were the Brewers? 84.5? I mean, what are the Cubs numbers? Got to be like 89.5 maybe? Let's see. And if it's that high, I don't like it. 88.5. I don't like it. I mean, I think they could get there, but I could also see them winning 85 games. Very easily see them winning 85 games. Alex Bregman's going to be big for them, but healthy Dansby Swanson, I don't know. I don't know about the rotation. I don't know how good the bullpen's going to be. And I think the Brewers and the Reds are better teams. I really do. So my official NL Central plays are Reds over 82.5, Brewers over 84.5. We're going to recommend taking the Reds plus 350 and the Brewers plus 240. Is it 240 and 350? Let me just make sure I'm giving you the right numbers. Yeah, plus 240, plus 350. That's my recommendation there. You got a thought? And I'm going to take the Pirates under. The Cardinals, 69.5. I mean, I don't like them, but maybe they could surprise and get to 70 because they're just the Cardinals. And that's a baseball crazed town. You know, Cardinals are in a full rebuild mode. I could easily see the Pirates 75 and 87. And we're going Pirates under. And if I like these Brewers and Reds, we're going Pirates under 76.5. I mean, there's just not a lot there. I don't believe in it. I think they're not. You got a couple stud pitchers, but what else do you got? And you know they're not going to add anything at the deadline. They're not going to do anything big. If anything, they're going to trade guys. All right, so that's my NL Central preview. We're going to move on to the NL West. Dodgers, the huge favorites. I mean, come on, they're the new evil empire. Don't talk about the Yankees' evil empire. And this whole deferring money is just such garbage. This deferring money to players, it's so against everything. We're gonna pay you we're gonna bring you in, but we're gonna pay you later. It's so stupid. I can't stand it. I literally can't stand it. I know I'm an old man yelling at cloud. I can't stand it. All right, so we're going NL West. Dodgers, oh my God, minus 650 to win the division. Holy mackerel. We're going to start in Colorado because we got to go to all the teams. Colorado to win that division is plus 2,500. You throw $10 on it? What's that? Plus 25,000. 10 pays $2,510. I mean, what the hell's $10? That's kind of crazy. That's not happening, but it's kind of crazy. We'll try to paint the picture. 54.5 is the win total for the Rockies. They were 43 and 119 last year. Oh my Lord. Wow. 265 winning percentage. Holy mackerel, is that historically bad. All right. Sorry to my buddy Austin Newton, who got drafted to Colorado, but that means you got a chance. You got a chance to get in that rotation pretty quick if you do well. Let's see what they've done. Signed Mickey Moniak, former first overall pick. They have a couple of guys. They've got some interesting guys for fantasy. Edouard Julien was a high prospect from Minnesota at second base. I mean, the hitters could always overperform because of where they're at, but I mean, every guy in their lineup has an over 20-something% strikeout rate. Ezekiel Tovar, I think, is a little underrated for fantasy this year at short. Hunter Goodman, really good catcher, kind of came out of nowhere last year, had a great year. Jordan Beck in right field is a first-round pick, 38th pick of the draft a couple years ago. Excuse me. They're going to score some runs because they're Colorado. What do they got for pitching? Oof. Kyle Freeland. What's the 26 projections? Oof. Their best projected pitcher is Jose Quintana at 4.86 ERA. Yikes. Their highest strikeout guy is 7.71. Chase Dolander's interesting. He's a first-round pick in 23, 9th overall pick. Got great stuff, but obviously got to pitch in Colorado, which not fun, not easy. But he's an interesting arm. I mean, everybody's going to pitch bad there. Got a couple of guys in the bullpen. Victor Vodnik is probably going to get the majority of the saves. Maybe Seth Halverson gets some with his 99-mile-an-hour heater, but they don't have a single pitcher, bullpen or starting, projected with an ERA under 4. I mean, that's just such a bummer. to be pitching there where it's just brutal. It's just brutal to be a pitcher for the Rockies. It's just brutal. Let's see. They have my buddy Austin Newton on here anywhere. Where's Austin? Yeah, he's on there, drafted in the 10th round. He's probably going to start in low A out in Fresno. Good luck, Austin, if you're watching. He watches the show sometimes. We're going to have him on, I promise. We will get him on when things slow down a little bit for me, and I can coordinate it and get that going. I don't know. Dude, 54.5 is such a low bar. We'll see. I want to look at the rest of the teams in this division, but that is such a low bar. I mean, they can go 55 and 107 and win that bet. I lean over, but that's just because that's such a crazy number. Maybe this Dollander, maybe Freeland, a couple of first-round picks, surprise, and then maybe they get it done with the bats. Who knows? But that's a tough division. All right, second favorite in that division, or second least favorite, is the San Francisco Giants. And that's a team that always, kind of like the Cardinals, aside from last year, probably this year, kind of always finds a way to get things done. You look at their lineup. They bring in Luis Ariz. Guy really wanted the Yankees to bring in. Gets the ball in play. They have Devers for a whole season. Willie Adames has been good. Matt Chapman solid with the glove and power at third base. Jung-Ho Lee, kind of a poor man's, not Ichiro. Oh, I like an Ariz, a slap hitter. Heliot Ramos is a first-round pick, young guy. They bring in Harrison Bader, who's always good while he's healthy, but he doesn't typically last that long. Got a pretty good lineup. It's an all right lineup. Pitching, not bad. Logan Webb at the top's great. Robbie Ray, if he can stay healthy, he's good. Tyler Mahle, kind of an innings eater. They got a pretty good pen with Ryan Walker at the top. Yeah, it's not a bad team. It's not a bad team. What's their win total? Got to be low 70s. Let's see. 81.5? That seems like a lot for this squad. I mean, they've got a lineup. They definitely have a lineup, which usually it's the opposite. Usually the Giants are about pitching, and they don't have a ton of hitting. They got a bunch of contact guys, get the ball in play type of guys, which I like this day and age. They got guys with good eyes. Bryce Eldridge at first base, top prospect, as you can see on the bottom of the screen. Thank you, Drizzy, for having those things up there. I don't know. I want to see the rest of them. 81.5 seems right about right. Probably a 500 type team. And if a couple things go their way, breaks, they can get it. A couple breaks don't go their way, they're not going to get it. So I'm going to pass on any major prediction here with the San Francisco Giants. Let's get to the Arizona Diamondbacks. 79.5 is their projected win total. Let me go to their projected lineup and starting rotation. Obviously, Perdomo, Ketel Marte is great. Corbin Carroll, he's got the broken hamate bone, but they said he might be ready for opening day. He's already making one-handed swings, probably going to be close to ready for opening day. This kid's great. If you've never seen Corbin Carroll, power, speed combo, just plays with reckless abandon, exciting. Gabriel Moreno, they bring in Nolan Arenado in a trade to play third base. Old man Carlos Santana still at it, 40 years old, playing first base. Jordan Lawler in center. Alec Thomas. They've got some bench guys. I know they have some guys down on the farm that are supposed to be pretty good, some decent arms. Starting rotation could be pretty good. Zach Gallen, Ryan Nelson, Eduardo Rodriguez, Brandon Pfaadt, good young pitcher. Mike Soroka, former first-rounder. It's not an amazing rotation, but it's decent. It's got a bunch of innings-eating guys, and it's a decent bullpen. I mean, this team is decent. But I don't see anything special. Corbin Burns, maybe they could get him back. I'm seeing that he might be back June, July. He had Tommy John in June. Possibly he comes back if they're in the playoff hunt, July or August, something like that. Mel Kelly is got some back tightness. He's going to miss opening day, but he'll be back. They moved him to the bullpen last year, and he actually was very good at the bullpen last year. He threw 184 innings, but they moved him late to the pen. They're gonna start. He's gonna start though. They're gonna keep him starting for a little bit. It's not a bad team. It's very, very similar to the Giants. So if I got these guys at 79.5 and the Giants at 81.5, I'm gonna lead toward the Diamondbacks at over 79.5. Last year they won 80 games, so they're right on that number. Giants were 81 games. I don't see a ton changing with either of those. I mean, the big questions are going to be, can they hit enough? And the questions for the Giants are, can they pitch enough? Which is crazy to think. We're going to go now to San Diego and the Padres. Always a team that's doing a bunch of stuff. 85.5 is their number. They got to 90 last year. That number, my initial thoughts, seems very low for the Padres. Because the thing is, the Padres are, God, why can't I think of his name? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. Oh, it's going to drive me nuts. Hit the GM. Oh, I can't think of the GM. Oh. Preller? Something, AJ Preller? I think it's AJ Preller. You can fact check me out there if you're in the chat. I think it's AJ Preller. The GM is the most aggressive GM out there. He will do what it takes. And I like the lineup. Xander Bogaerts leading off. Still can play a little bit. Obviously, he's lost some power. He's gone down. He's almost going to be 34 this year. Jackson Merrill, great young player. Had an okay season, a little bit down. Manny Machado. I love Fernando Tatis. I mean, that top four is pretty good. Jay Cronenworth, Ramon Laureano had a great year for them last year. They bring in Miguel Andujar as a bat. They bring in a guy from Korea, Sungmin Song. Good little infielder, kind of utility man. Gavin Sheets, great against righties. They bring in Castellanos, who's going to face lefties and probably platoon a little bit. He can still hit a bit. I like the rotation. Musgrove finally back from injury. Randy Vasquez, Herman Marquez, they get out of – interested to see what he does out of Colorado. Michael King at the top of the rotation. Nick Pivetta had a great season last year. It's a pretty good team and a lockdown closer. If you've never seen Mason Miller pitch, this guy is locked down 14.5 Ks per nine. All right, so if he pitched 9 innings, he's going to get 14 to 15 Ks. So he gets in there and he strikes out at least a batter or two every time he pitches, hits over 100. This guy's probably the best closer in baseball now. And they've got a couple good setup men with him. So I kind of like this team. I kind of like this team here. I like San Diego, 85.5. Can they catch the Dodgers? I don't know. Who's going to catch the Dodgers? It's just absurd what they built. But you're getting plus 850 for the Padres to win that division. It's possible. It's possible. They're live. I mean, last year where'd they finish? They were only a few games back. Yeah, they finished 3 games back of the Dodgers. But the Dodgers continue to just load up and load up and load up. And again, that bull crap with the deferred money, can't stand it. I think it's absolute garbage that you don't have to pay the guy the year that you paid him. Anyhow, let's go to the evil Empire Dodgers. Their numbers got to be absurd. I'm just guessing that it's got to be 95, 94.5, 95.5. Let's see. Regular season win for these Dodgers. And they're just loaded. They got guys on the farm, too. They went 102.5. Holy moly. They won 93 last year. They think they're going to win 10 more games? That's a lot of games. They got to go 103 and 59. I like the under. I got to tell you, I like the under there. That's a lot of wins. I mean, it's a good team. You bring in Kyle Tucker. He's had some injury. I mean, he's a big upgrade. Mookie Betts had a down year. He's set for probably a bounce back. Freddie Freeman's 37 years old. He was okay last year. Max Muncy at third base is 36 years old. Teoscar, his strikeout rate's up to 27%. He's getting a little older. Now, again, the big thing is they got guys down on the farm. I mean, they've got a catcher prospect, Dalton Rushing, that they're actually trying in the outfield a little bit in spring training because they want to get him some at-bats. So he's going to be the backup catcher and outfield, probably get a little DH. After that, the hitting prospects are, but then you get to the pitching and it's just absurd. But a lot of injury risk guys. Yamamoto was phenomenal in the World Series, phenomenal in the postseason. Tyler Glasnow, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball when he's healthy, but not healthy very often. Shohei, and the word on the street is that Shohei wants to try, and I wouldn't put anything past him. He wants to try to be the first guy ever to win Cy Young and MVP. He wants to win Cy Young and I don't think he's the first one ever, but he wants to win. He wants to win both in both. Yeah. So that would be pretty amazing. So when Shohei's on the mound, he's a top 10 pitcher in the league, and that's just what's insane. A top 10 pitcher and a guy who can hit 60 home runs. It's absurd what he does. Emmett Sheehan, young guy that came up last year, was unbelievable, and they got Roki Sasaki going to start in the rotation. He had a down year, but I think that was acclimating himself to the majors. Had a very high walk percentage. His walks were, and he was injured, but he had a really, really high walk percentage. I expect him to bounce back a little bit. So there's no doubt about it. This team is loaded. There's no doubt. 103 is just a lot of wins. That is a lot of wins. If anybody gets injured, if anybody goes down, if a couple of guys go down, now certainly they have guys down on the farm. Gavin Stone. And again, and they bring in Edwin Diaz as a lockdown closer. They've got Tanner Scott as a setup man, probably would be a closer on a lot of teams. Blake Trinan, and that's not even counting Blake Snell. We didn't even talk about Blake Snell, who's got a sore shoulder, but he's another one always in and out of the lineup. But they have so many guys they can go to. And then down, like I said, down on the farm, they've got pitchers. I follow some of these guys that do a lot of stuff about pitching prospects, and they've got a ton of top pitching prospects. Gavin Stone, like I said before, Landon Knack is another name. There's another name, River Ryan. I mean, they've got 4 guys and Kyle Hurt down there. They've got 4 prospects that are down on the farm that probably would start for 90% of the teams. So they got them in waiting when these guys get hurt, but there is no way I'm taking a team to win 103 games. Just can't do it. That's just too many. They could do it. That's just too many. Now, and they're probably going to win the division, but there's no money in that. There's no money in that. I mean, they're -6. What did I say they were? -6 something? -650. You got to put $650 to win $100. That's just kind of absurd. That's, going to the track and betting a 1-9 favorite or 1-6 favorite. Just, it's not worth, in my opinion, not worth it. Now, I just saw a funny one. You got to pick the team. I thought it was going to be a number. It had longest regular season win streak. Which team in the majors would have the longest regular season win streak? I thought it was going to say how many games, like maybe like 13 or 12 or 11 and a half. Like how many games with the most, but you have to pick the team. Good luck with that. How the heck are you going to pick the team that's going to have the longest win streak in the season? Dodgers are the favorite at +400, but that's, again, an absurd number. All right, so there you have it. My official NL West plays. All right, I got to make it official, at least an official play. I'm going to take the Colorado Rockies. Why the heck not? Over 54.5. They won 43 last year and were putrid. There's no way they could be that bad. I'm going to take them. We're taking Rockies over 54.5. That's my official play in the NL West. Not a lot of great action, unfortunately, with the Dodgers being such a big favorite. D-backs and Giants. I think the Padres number is a little soft. I mean, Padres won 90 games last year, and they're, 86.5, I said? I don't hate the Padres over as well. I think the Padres are a possible over. Come on, where the heck is it? San Diego. There you are. Yeah, 85.5. I like that over because, again, they're aggressive. If they find out a team's selling, that Preller, he'll make moves. He will bring people in. So I'm going to take the Padres. I've been cold on a lot of teams, a lot of unders, but I'm going to take them over 85.5. I think they're just as good as they were last year, and they won 90 games. So there you have it. There's our NL Central and our NL West previews. Next week, we're going to get into the American League, which I follow a lot more American League, I'll be honest with you. Being a Yankees fan And then some of my fantasy baseball leagues are American League only. I follow the American League a lot more. We're going to start with AL West next week. Let's see. When's the season start? Season will start. Yeah, so we got 3 more weeks, and then the season will start. So we'll do the AL East AL West. Then we'll do AL Central. And then on the 20th, we'll kick it off with AL East. So there you have it. Again, if you're in the chat, if you're in the conversation, let us know what you think. If you got a sneaky team in the NL Central or NL West, we told you we like the Reds over, the Brewers over, and the Pirates under for the NL Central. All right, now let's get to the college basketball real quick. Let's take a quick peek. Miami of Ohio and Western Michigan. Miami of Ohio, 28-0, playing against 10-18 Western Michigan. They're down 8 with 7 minutes and 40 seconds to go. The last undefeated team could go down, and that's big news for Akron, who plays later tonight, because Akron only has 1 loss in their conference. So they win that game. Western Michigan beats up Miami of Ohio, and Akron wins. That's going to set up a showdown between Akron. Let me see. I'm pretty sure Akron and Miami of Ohio have 1 more game left. No, they don't. They don't have another game left. So they don't play each other. How'd they do straight? They only play each other once this year? Well, that's a bummer when they're that good. And they lost by 3 at Miami of Ohio, Akron. Akron's pretty good, man. They're 23-5. I'd like to see them. That's one that come tournament time and selection day, if they don't get in, like let's say they win their last 3, they go 26-5, and then they lose in the conference championship to Miami of Ohio. That's a team I want in the tournament. I want that team in the tournament. They deserve to be in the tournament. They're good. They're really good. Miami of Ohio is really good. You know what? I'm going to look at what's Miami of Ohio right now if you bet them live. Now that there's – look at this, guys. I'm going to do it. I'm putting 10 on it. They're down 8 with 7:40 to go. I'm getting plus 200. I'm taking it. I just threw $10 on it. They're down 7 now. So they cut it a little bit. Down 7. I've got plus 200. Again, gun to my head, I'm taking Illinois tonight too, plus 1.5. It was Illinois when I got to work this morning. It was minus 1.5 Illinois. Now they're plus money. So watch out for Illinois. I mean, I'd like to see the undefeated go down, Miami, Ohio, but they're down 7 with 7 minutes to go. I've seen this team. They are explosive, and they want to keep that undefeated. All right. Drizzy Dre's got the banners ready. We're going to try to fly because we want to get you to this Illinois and Michigan game. Let's go to tomorrow. Let's go to Saturday. We're going to go through all the ranked games. Once again, last week we were on fire. 9-3. Yeah, you heard it right. 9-3 we went on the show. So start writing these numbers down. Get in here. Let's make some money. Let's get going, Drizzy. First game on Saturday. I believe we have Virginia. Yes, we do. We have Virginia at Duke. Duke off the big win against Michigan last weekend. We had the over. We didn't hit that. God, Michigan could not hit a shot. If they play 20 times, Michigan wins 18. I'm telling you, Michigan had that game won and, kind of let them off the hook there. All right, so we got Duke minus 10.5. I kind of lean. First thoughts immediately are me going to Virginia. I think Virginia's the kind of team that could annoy Duke. Duke kind of riding in off that high, kind of excited, maybe a little full of themselves. Let's see. Did they play already this year? Virginia's not your normal Virginia, and they've just blew out NC State, beat Miami, beat Georgia Tech, beat Ohio State. I mean, they've won, holy mackerel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games in a row, 9-game win streak. Only 3 losses on. Yes, thank you, John DePolita. Yeah, last week was a great. I know you were texting me as the games were going. Yeah, we had a great week last week. Thank you. I like Virginia. I like Virginia a lot here. 25-3. This is a good team, and it's not your old school Virginia that can't score the ball. Okay, you got Duke coming in riding high. Have they played this year? They have not played this year. But I like it. I think they can hang tough. I'm debating whether or not I make it official. And I'm debating whether or not I take the over. I like overs in Cameron Indoor. Those are some of the friendliest rims I've ever seen. They're some of the softest rims in the world. And look at this. And you think Virginia, right? Most people think Virginia, old school, right? Tony Bennett, Virginia. They've scored 90, 86, 94 their last 3 games. They can score the ball. This is not your old Virginia team. They average 82 a game. Now, both teams play pretty good defense, which is why you see the low number. And I'm actually going to flip the script here. I'm going over. So let me get my ledger here, college hoops. We're going over 138.5 in the Duke game. And I lean Virginia. You know what? I'm taking Virginia too. I like Virginia here. I really do. I think they're going to give Duke trouble. Smart team, plus 10.5. Give us Virginia. All right, next game, Driz. All right, we go to Houston. This is a game I got circled. I love this game. I love Houston. I think Houston's really good. They've had some tough losses, and I think they are pissed off. I really think they're pissed off. They are really upset. Let me just check something real quick. I want to make sure this line, I always want to make sure our lines are 100%. Yeah. Okay, 17. I'm seeing 18.5 now. Truth be told, I'm seeing 18.5 now. I still like Houston. I think Houston blows their doors off. And you know me, I don't take a ton of favorites. These two teams they faced yet this year. They have not. Houston, when they play a lousy team, and they're coming off 3 tough losses in a row. But at Iowa State, Arizona, at Kansas. Those are 3 tough teams. This is a get-right spot. I think they blow their doors in. I got Houston. I'm going to say 18.5, even though it says 17.5 on the screen. Give me Houston. I think Houston's one of the live teams. They're one of those 10 teams that I think could win it all. And I don't take big favorites. So we're going to take Houston minus 18.5. Next game. Seton Hall and UConn. Could we get a letdown? UConn blowing St. John's doors in. Oh, my goodness, what a performance. Hurley had them fired up. If we get that Terrace Reed the rest of the season, UConn is a title contender because they got to play through the big man. They really do. Now, Seton Hall has given UConn fits. Barely beat them. Beat them by 5 points in Seton Hall. They have given us fits. There's no way I'm laying 13.5. I'm sorry. I know they just beat St. John's by 32. That's possible letdown spot. This is the home final for Caravan. I think they could have a little letdown. And I think if they have a letdown, it's going to be in the first half. So I'm kind of interested in the first half. Now, Seton Hall plays good D. They don't score a lick. They're one of the lowest scoring teams in college basketball. And UConn, there you go. John DePolina brings it to us right there. UConn has not been good against the spread at Gamble. You're 100% right. They've actually played much better at Hartford, believe it or not, instead of Gamble. I can't do this. I can't do it. Now, 129.5, God, that's an enticing over. But Seton Hall, here's their last 3 games. They scored 63, 57, 51. I mean, they don't score. They very rarely can get to the 70s. They're not a high-scoring team. It's not a great Seton Hall team. They got a really good point guard, though, and UConn tends to struggle against point guards. If anything, I would lean towards Seton Hall in the first half. Let's see what we have for a number. Let's see if we have a halves number. Seton Hall, 7.5 first half. I'm taking it. It's going on the ledger. Seton Hall plus 7.5 first half. I think the emotions from UConn, from the St. John's game, from the Caravan ceremony and the senior ceremony, little letdown, little letdown. Yeah, Seton Hall is 15 net on D. Thank you. I wish I had 8 hands. You're hired, man. You can be help research because I want to check all these things. It's hard for me to look up, but yes, 2 good defensive teams, and UConn's very good. UConn's calling card, if they're playing well, is defense and playing inside out. They got to go through Reed and then get it out because they don't have a ton of great guys creating their own shot. They've got some great shooters. They got some great guys who can pump once, dribble, pull up J, stuff like that. But they don't have a lot of great just one-on-one drivers. Silas DeMary does it a little bit, but they need to play through the big guy. And then when you double team the big guy, kick it out and create those rotations where the defense is on its heels. And that's how they got to play. And that's what they did against St. John's. They played through Terrace Reed. He's so huge for them. All right, next game. Louisville at Clemson. Man, Louisville is that team that I just cannot, put my finger on. This is a much, much bigger game for Clemson here. Clemson's kind of on the bubble. So this is a big-time game for them as opposed to, I mean, it's obviously, not like Louisville's not going to show up, but this is a bigger game for Clemson. So I think the motivation, I know they're fourth in the ACC, but Clemson's coming off 4 straight losses. So they're going the wrong direction heading into tournament time. And they lost to Florida State, not good. Lost at Wake Forest, I thought was good, but they haven't been good. They lost to Duke. They lost to Virginia Tech's not good. So they've been struggling. I mean, they don't have a really good win, Clemson. I mean, their last good win was January 17th at home against Miami. Other than that, I mean, they beat Georgia Tech and Pittsburgh, who are terrible. They beat Stanford and Cal, who are not good. They beat SMU, but that was in January. Barely beat Syracuse. You know what? I can't back this team. The spot tells you and the line tells you Clemson, Clemson, Clemson. That's what this line tells you. Because, you just look at this from, if you just, didn't know situations, whatever, and you just looked at this game and went, all right, this is what Louisville's been doing, this is what Clemson's been doing, you would think Louisville's a 5-point favorite. I mean, they just barely lost to North Carolina on the road. They've beaten up some good teams, beat Baylor on the road, blew out NC State. They beat SMU. They beat Virginia Tech, who just beat Clemson. I mean, I still don't know how much I believe in Louisville because they rely on the 3. They score a ton of points. They average 86 points a game. Big-time scoring team. This is a fishy line alert. But you know what? Some of these fishy lines have killed me. I've seen the fishy lines, and they've hurt me. What I like is Clemson, now that I'm looking at it, plays pretty good defense at home. They held Florida State to 70. And again, that's pretty good defense. They held Duke to 67. Virginia Tech scored 76 against them. They held Pitt to 52. Georgia Tech to 63. NC State needed overtime. What was that score before overtime? They held them to 69. So they've been holding in the 60s. I want to see what if Louisville's team total is up near 80, I'm going to take team total under. And again, I know not every book has this. Let me see if I can find this. This is, what time is this game here? 2 p.m.? All right, let me see if I can find, I got to find this game on here and see if it offers that. Let's see what we got. Team. We got Louisville total, 72.5. That's not high enough. I wanted it up to 78 or something. No good. No action for me, but maybe keep an eye on Clemson. That line's got to grow. I bet you that line's got to swell to 2.5, 3. Got to swell to 2.5, 3. Let me take a quick peek at what Miami, Ohio is doing. They're down 5 with 4 minutes to go. My little $10 bet to win 30 is live. All right, let's keep on going. Drizzy, what do we got next game? Vanderbilt at Kentucky. You guys know that I have been off Vanderbilt. I don't think they're that good. I think they're a bit overrated. I love this number for Kentucky. I think this is a Kentucky win all day long, plus 1.5. Lock it in, load it. I kind of lean under as well. Kentucky doesn't score a ton. It's not like some up and down crazy team. I like Kentucky here. I think this is a great matchup. Have they played yet this year? They played, and Vanderbilt beat them by 25. I love it. I got the revenge factor. I got Kentucky at home. I got Vanderbilt, who's one of those teams who's just not the same on the road. On the road, lost to Mizzou, beat Auburn, beat Mississippi State, lost to Arkansas, lost to Texas, barely beat South Carolina, barely beat Memphis, had to go to OT. Give me Kentucky. This is Kentucky all day. Kentucky's going on the line. Plus 1.5. Love them. And a lean to the under. All right, next game. Ooh, it doesn't feel like these guys play all the time, but that Big 12 is so loaded. Kansas at Arizona, 9.5. Wow. Didn't Kansas beat them? Yes, Kansas beat them by 4 in Kansas. Who knows what's going on with that kid from Kansas? I don't get it. I don't think Kansas is that good. I think they're a team that may get beat in the round of 32. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they got upset. I think they're one of those teams that could lay an egg and get upset. Arizona's coming off big wins at Baylor, big win at Houston, beat BYU. They had the 2 stretch loss, Kansas Tech. Man, the Big 12 is loaded, absolutely loaded. This is a lot of points, though. 9.5 is a lot. I know revenge is on their mind. Sometimes you can get clouded by revenge, right? You could be seeing red, and that those emotions don't do well for you. Kansas coming off the big win against Houston. Lost to Cincinnati, though. That was an egg they laid. I don't know, man. I lean Arizona to blow them out, but I wouldn't be surprised Kansas keeps it close. No play from Destino. No play. Next game. I can't with that game. Texas Tech at Iowa State. This would have been a great spot for my Texas Tech, but they lost their best player. That kind of nukes my ticket that I had on Texas Tech to win it all. I don't think they can win it all without that top player that they lost. I don't know how they do it. Losing, I can't think of the kid's name now, but losing him, that's JT Toppin. Yeah, that was brutal. But they've been on a little roll. They lost at Arizona State. They beat Arizona without the kid. They lose at Arizona State. They beat K-State. They beat Cincinnati. Now they go at Iowa State. They're getting 9.5. I think Iowa State's a little bit of frauds. You know that I was against Iowa State. I lost that game this week. That's one of my losses this week. I had Utah plus 13, and they lost by 16. Iowa State, though, is a bully at home. They're pretty good at home. Beat Kansas by 18 at home. Beat Houston by 3 at home. Only beat Baylor by 3, but then they beat Colorado by 30. They beat UCF, who I think is good on a tournament team, by 30. I'm staying off this game. I want to lean under. I got no play here. I just can't give you – I think the line's about right. And a lot of times the line is right. That's why Vegas is in business, right? A lot of times the lines are right. I'm not going to touch this game. I can see Texas Tech rallying and playing good enough D to stay in it, but I can see Iowa State, this game getting out of hand. And if it does get into a shootout, Texas Tech just doesn't have the firepower without Toppin to keep up. So no play for me. Next game. Nebraska, number 12 team in the country, goes out west. Oh, classic Big Ten game, right, folks? Nebraska at USC. USC has not been great. 18-10. I mean, they're okay, but they're coming off losses to UCLA and to Oregon, and they got blown out 2 of their last 3. They're kind of a Jekyll and Hyde team. If a team's not good, they can hang. But when they play somebody good, they have trouble. But I don't like to lay 5.5 on the road. And Nebraska peaked early. You look at them, and they've been struggling ever since. They beat Maryland by 13, but Maryland's awful. They beat Penn State, awful. At Iowa, they lose. Look at when they go on the road. At Iowa, they lose. At Rutgers, they win by 12. At Michigan, lose. No, you can't have anything bad about that. I mean, Nebraska's good. Do not get me wrong. Not saying they're not good. I just don't know if they're good. Yeah, look-ahead game maybe for Iowa State. I don't disagree. I mean, they got Arizona Monday. That's a big factor. That is a big factor. I didn't realize they had Arizona on Monday. That's a big factor. I mean, if it gets out of hand, they could get in trouble, and they've been bullies at home. It's on CBS, so it's a big game for them. It's national TV game. Although, I mean, I don't know. Do kids really get up for that stuff anymore? I mean, everyone used to get ready for Big Monday, but they could be looking ahead at Arizona. They could have revenge on their mind against Arizona. Actually, they haven't played Arizona. So you're right, Godfather. It's just tough for me with Texas Tech without that player, because a lot of times when teams lose a star, they get riled up and they do really good for the first few games, and then the guys come back down to earth a little bit. But I like Texas Tech. I mean, I bet them in Michigan State to win the championship at like plus 3,000 odds earlier in the year. I think that Texas Tech wins trouble, because I just don't think without Toppin kid they could do it. But hey, the look-ahead spot is big. There's no doubt about it. And they're coming off some big wins. Did they play Texas Tech yet this year? No, they didn't play. It's crazy. There's no more you don't play everybody twice anymore, because they've got these leagues, 17, 18, 19 teams in the league. It's crazy. So you don't get a chance to play everybody twice. I liked when you had that revenge factor. You got to play both teams. You got to play them at their place, just like we had with St. John's. We got to play them at their, and hey, now you got to come to our place. Sometimes you don't get that anymore, which, again, hey, old man yelling at cloud, whatever. Got to get with the times. All right. Next game, I think, is BYU West Virginia. We were against BYU. We had UCF. And if you watch the short videos, if you're subscribed to the channel, we gave you UCF plus 12.5 dog, won the game outright. Huge win for the Golden Knights. Shout out to Pards, a UCF graduate, who asked me earlier if they're in the tournament. I say absolutely. I say, yeah, the Big East, absolutely. They get to play each other twice. I love it. UCF, 20-7 in that conference with huge wins over Texas Tech when they had their best player. Huge win on the road against BYU. They also have that win against Arizona. Not Arizona, against Kansas at home. I think UCF's in. Now, they've got a pretty good schedule coming up. They get Baylor and Oklahoma State at home. I'm talking about UCF. And then they get West Virginia on the road. So they win 2 out of 3. I think lock them in. I think they're in the dance. Now, go back to BYU. Coming off a tough home loss. Okay? I like BYU. I like BYU in the spot. West Virginia's tough at home, but they're coming off back-to-back losses, 3 losses in a row, and lost to Utah at home. Come on, you lost to Utah at home, lost to Texas Tech at home, lost to Baylor at home, and I'm BYU, and I'm only laying 1.5, and I'm coming off a loss. I love BYU coming off a loss. I think they're good. I don't think they're a great team. I don't think they're maybe an Elite 8 team max. I don't think they're going to the Final Four. I don't think they're that good, especially with losing their second leading scorer. Give me BYU off the loss, going to West Virginia and getting the win. I'm taking BYU. I'm going to lay the 1.5 with that super freshman. I think they're good enough to beat a bad West Virginia team. And coming off the loss is huge. All right, next game on the docket. We're getting to 6 p.m. Alabama, Tennessee. My first inclination is there's going to be a lot of points in this, but the line is adjusted. It is 162.5. I kind of like Alabama here. I think Alabama is a not sneaky. When they get hot and they get scoring, my Lord, they score in the hundreds. They score 93 a game, folks. 93 a game. They've attempted 1,006 3-pointers in 28 games. Somebody could do the math for me on that one. I got a calculator here. 1,000 and what did I say it was? 1,006 3-pointers in 28 games. Holy macaroni. That's what? 20-something a game? 35 threes a game? Hold on. Is that right? 1,006 divided by 28. They shoot up almost 36 threes a game. Holy Lord. I know Tennessee their calling card is kind of defense, so this is going to be an interesting clash. They hold their opponents to 69 a game. This is going to be, if you like the over, you might as well take Alabama. If you like the under, you might as well take Tennessee. Now, Tennessee does score 80 points a game. That's unbelievable. So they've shot up almost 300 more threes than Tennessee this year. And that's the thing. When Alabama gets hit and they throw up those threes, I like them plus 5.5. Have they played yet this year? Tennessee's coming off a loss at Missouri, which we gave you. We had Missouri. They beat Vanderbilt. We didn't touch that game. Did they play? They played Alabama at Alabama and won. So I got revenge factor. There's stinky line alert, right? So Tennessee wins at Alabama by 6. They're home. They're only 5.5. I like Alabama. I'm taking Bama. I want to lean over. I think that's one you could probably parlay. I'm taking Bama plus 5.5. I know Tennessee's pretty good on defense, and Tennessee has, they lost at Missouri, so you got that little revenge factor, or coming off a loss factor. Beat Vanderbilt by 4. Beat Oklahoma, they stink. Beat LSU, they stink. When Tennessee's played better teams this year, they haven't done amazing. They got some okay wins, but they've got some. Texas A&M they had to go to overtime. They lost to Kentucky at home. Auburn they beat by 8. I think Alabama's better than Auburn. I'm taking Alabama. I like Alabama, and man, can you believe that? That's gonna be a fun team to watch if they're hitting their threes. Good night. I'm just looking at their last handful of games: 100, 90, 117, 89, 93, 96, 100. Holy mackerel, do they score? Now, they only scored 73. Let's see what the stats were here. So they only scored 73 when they played Tennessee at home, and they lost 79-73. They went Where's the threes? They went 6 out of 26 from three. Godfather, if you're still here, look up for me. How's Tennessee at defending the three? Look up and see where they rank like defense against the three. It's got to be pretty good since they hold people to 69 points. But anyhow, yeah, they just didn't hit their threes. They shot 23%, and they're like a 35% team. So they make 2 more threes, and we got a tie game, right? Because they lost by 6. Tennessee's second in the SEC in rebounding, as we got so many good. Shout out to my guy Drizzy Drin, my producer, man. This guy's been unreal. Gives me all this stuff on the bottom. Crimson Tide are 11-4 against SEC opponents. Alabama's 8th in college basketball, 37.8 rebound. So, look at these stats that he's given us on the bottom as you're listening to my ugly mug talk. You get to see all these stats on the bottom, man. 11-4 in the SEC for Bama. I like Bama. I'd be interested to see what Tennessee is defending the three, but I like Bama. All right, next game. We're getting down there, guys. Villanova, St. John's. You know me. I think Villanova peaked. I know I lost Villanova against who did I lose? No, I had them. I had Butler. I had Butler plus 10.5. They covered. I think Villanova peaked earlier in the year. I don't think they're catching people off guard. Now, how does St. John's respond to the big loss against UConn? Do they come back fired up? 8 o'clock on Fox? Did that kill all their momentum? Does that kill all their mojo? I don't know. Interesting game. Let's see. Yeah, I agree with you. And that's why I've been against Villanova a bunch lately. They haven't beaten anyone. They had to go to overtime to beat Xavier, beat Creighton on the road. I mean, they don't have and now listen, let's be honest. The Big East is a little down this year. So when you're in the Big East, who are the big wins that you have possibly? You have possible Tennessee's holding the opponents to 30. Yeah, 26 in the nation. So there you go. You got a strength against a strength. I still like Bama on the points because I think, they shot terribly and only lost by 6. They got to shoot better than 23%. So thank you, whoever brought that up. I think that was Drizzy. Thank you, bro, for bringing that up. Alabama 66 and Ken Palm on D. Yeah, they're not a bad D, which is crazy because of how good they're always. Their offense has got to be like first. They're up there with Miami, Ohio. I'd love to see that would be a cool game. Imagine Alabama and Miami of Ohio in a basketball game. I mean, you're going to be over-under is going to be 190. Oh, and what's going on with that game? Hang on. We got a quick look. How's that undefeated doing? They're tied with 12 seconds to go. I got a shot here. I took them plus 200, $10 to win 30. Let's see. Let me see if I can get the game tracker. I can't put it on. I think there's rights. 60. Oh, and Western Michigan had to make a basket to tie it. So Miami of Ohio was up. It's on CBS Sports Network, folks. Let me go to the game tracker. We got 67 all, Miami of Ohio and Western Michigan. 12 seconds to go. Miami of Ohio has the ball. I need a win. Come on, baby. We love this live betting. Let's go. All right, back to Villanova, St. John's. I lean St. John's, but I don't know how good St. John's is either. I mean, I know they beat us. They just look terrible. And Villanova's not catching people off guard anymore. They really aren't. They shoot 35% from three. I mean, St. John's Achilles heel is their outside shooting, but they got the bigs. I can't go against them coming off that big loss. I mean, they shoot the ball 33%. And those stats that happened in this St. John's UConn game are like mind-boggling. They're mind-boggling. Some of the stats about like not scoring a basket since like the 17-minute mark or something insane. The stats are crazy. I mean, it's one of the most putrid performances that I've ever seen. So I got to think Pitino being such a great coach, that's a bounce back spot. I lean St. John's. I'm hesitant to put it on my ledger because I just think it could be one of those games where they just battle. And let's see what's going on here in the basketball game. We got 12 seconds to go. If anybody's watching it, let me know. Yeah, Pitino called his team out, prime time on Fox at Madison Square. I think they come out and score after just looking atrocious. What was that over? UConn scored more points in the first half than St. John's did in the game. That is wild. against a ranked team, against the 15th ranked team in the country. That is wild. What's the over under? 144.5, man. Sometimes the odds makers got it on, man. Sometimes the odds makers just have it right. Oh, we got a buzzer beater. We got a buzzer beater or a late basket. Miami of Ohio, ladies and gentlemen, I believe has just won the game. Let me see if I can get confirmation on that. Let's see. I've got a thing that says game over, 69-67, Miami of Ohio. Let's go. Plus 200. Let's go. Miami of Ohio stays undefeated. 69-67 win over 69-67 over Western Michigan. Let's go. Dustino puts a little 30, wins a little 20 in the bankroll. Don't forget the games I had were 8:30 games. We had Louisiana. We have Louisiana Lafayette plus 13.5 still out there. We also took under in the Kent State Akron game, under 165.5, and it is 6-5, 4 minutes in. So it's on pace. It's a long way to go. On pace, though. And then Illinois is up 10-8. We're almost there, guys, and we'll get you out of here so you can watch that Illinois game. I want to do a couple more, and then I'm going to give you some. Oh, they're putting time back on the clock. It's not over? Oh, no. The Godfather's telling me it's not over. That it was near the end, but they're putting time back on the clock. All right. Keep me posted, Godfather, because I can't watch it and do the show at the same time. All right. No bet. If I lean anything, it would be St. John's. All right. Next game. Duquesne at St. Louis. St. Louis minus 160.5. No, it can't be. What's the line? 160.5 is the total. Let me see if I can find. That's a 8 o'clock game. Let me see if I can find that line. St. Louis 15.5 is the line. 161.5. I lean St. Louis, but they got no play. Let's skip that one. All right, keep going. Here we go. We're getting close. North Carolina, no, Arkansas, Florida. I am not stepping in front of the Florida bus. Florida is romping people. I got 9.5 actually, Drizzy, on Hard Rock. Gators are 12-1 at home. They're scoring 86 points. They are beating people by 15.1 points per game. They are blowing people out. I had Florida as a rare road favorite last week. I had Florida. What did I take them at? I was laying 12.5 on the road with Florida. Dude, they're just blowing people out. I don't care. I know Arkansas is good. I'm taking the Gators. I'm not getting in front of that train. 0.4 seconds left in that Miami of Ohio game. Come on. Dustino needs one. It'll be a good start to the weekend, baby. All right, we're taking Gators minus 9.5. They're steamrolling people. Steamrolling people. Florida, live team to win it all. They're up to number 7 in the country. Let's see. Yeah, I'll look at some more odds. Is that it? Any more? Virginia Tech and North Carolina, another 8:30 game. I can't get behind North Carolina. I can't with the kid out. They've been playing admirably without him. I want to lean under. My initial instincts tell me under. Let me take a quick peek. I just want to take a quick peek. Virginia Tech is 18-10, so this is a big, much bigger game for Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech just lost. They beat Clemson on the road. They lost to Florida State at home by 23. They only lost by 1 to Miami. Lost by 9 to NC State, 14 to this team. This is one of those teams, who the hell knows which team you're getting. But they only score 78 a game. They don't shoot a ton of threes. I know Virginia Tech in the past has shot a ton of threes. And Carolina's playing good, pretty good without the kid. They beat Louisville and they beat Syracuse. They play good defense. I lean under. I got no play in the game. I would take Virginia Tech only because the game is so meaningful for them. If they want any tournament hopes. But I can't back a team that's been this Jekyll and Hyde. I'm not taking them. Next game. I think we got the Zags, right? Zags, and it's not on here. I don't know if Drizzy was able to get a line, but I got Gonzaga and St. Mary's, a rematch of a couple of weeks ago where they lost by 8, and now we have St. Mary's is getting 2.5 at home. So they're a game over. Miami stays undefeated. More importantly, Dustino puts $20 in the pocket. We got to count that. It was live bet, right? So now I'm what? I was 23 and 22. I think I go because I'm keeping track. I'm 24 and 22 now. Since we documented, I was on fire prior, but the week we decided to document, I went 5 and 13 or something. But we've had a huge comeback with last week. So we're 24 and 22. Don't forget, we got App State, Akron under, and Louisiana Lafayette are our 3 plays tonight. I lean Illinois. Not sure what the score of that game is. In that Gonzaga game, I like St. Mary's. This is not a great Zags team. And since that loss, St. Mary's has been romping people. They've been winning big. I think they hang. I think they win this game, and they're getting 2.5. And they play great D. Let's see what I got for a total 143.5. I would lean under as well in that game. Let me see if it's on Hard Rock, because the Zags, this is just not your normal Zags team that scores a ton. Do I have that? Actually, you know what? I'm showing it on CBS Sports, but you're right. On Hard Rock, there's no line on that game yet. So keep an eye on it. I'm not going to make it an official. So keep an eye, though, on if you can get St. Mary's +2, +3, keep an eye out. Maybe I'll make a short video on it. If you can do that, get in on it. Looking pretty good in this over-under in the Akron-Kent State game. Akron's up 15-8. I almost took Akron -4. I'm telling you, Akron's really good, man. Akron is really good. Watch out. They get in the tournament and they're a 12 or an 11. They're live. 13 seed maybe even. They will be very live, and I hope they get in even if they don't win their conference tournament. They're really good. I've seen a couple of their games. They're good. And hopefully they'll get their chance against Miami, Ohio in their conference championship. All right, really quick, we're going to go to the Cognizant Classic, the golf tournament at PGA National, formerly the Honda. We got, it's kind of a mule event. There's not a lot of big names. Unfortunately, this tournament has gotten really squeezed because you've got the Arnold Palmer and the Players coming up. You got the Arnold Palmer, then I think you have the Valspar, then you have the Players coming up. And it's just this tournament's got squeezed because all the top guys are going to go play the Arnold Palmer. But you get some great young guys in there. Let me just take a look and see if there's anything live for us to bet. It's nice because now they're on the East Coast. We just got done with the West Coast swing. So now we're on the East Coast. So these, they're done playing. Like golf has been over for a couple hours. So now we got some top 10. All right, cool. This is what I like to see. All right, so we got some options for top 10. I like Daniel Berger a lot. I mean, he's one of the bigger names out there. He's +165. Daniel Berger +165 to get into the top 10. And right now he is currently tied 13th. And one stroke gets him to tied 6th. I mean, it's kind of jumbled up here. 4 unders tied 13th, 5 unders tied 6th. So he's only one stroke back, and I'm getting that pedigree, and I'm getting a Florida boy, and I get +165. Yes, please. Yes, please. I will take that all day. Let me see who else we got. Where's Rasmus Højgaard? Because I'm seeing him at a big number. Well, +450. He's 1 under. So, he's 4 back of top 10. I kind of like Eric Cole at 2 under. This guy he's got a runner-up finish in this tournament. He's 2 under. So he's only 3 back of top 10, and you get +500. I like that a lot. Where is Bo Hostler? He's a guy I like pre-tournament. Plays well there. He's at 1 under. He's +1,000 though. It's not live. And then let's see if we got anybody odds to win. Obviously, 36 holes to go. So much can happen. Kind of like Nico Echeverria at 7 under, 4 back. Austin Smotherman's your leader. It's Joel Damon. Yeah, there's nobody I can really. I mean, Taylor Moore is +800. He's a good player, and he's only a couple back. He's in second. And you're getting +800. And this guy, Smotherman's got to sit on the lead. I kind of like that. Taylor Moore +800 to win the tournament. He could easily be the leader by the end of the round. He's got 1 PGA Tour win. Let's see what he's doing this year. He's 2 out of 2 cuts this year. So he's playing good. Yeah, I kind of like Taylor more. If I was taking a guy like a long shot to win the tournament, I'd take that. I do like Berger top 10. I like Hostler and Eric Cole as a couple of long shots to come in the top 10 and pay out some money. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Let's take one last peek. We had a great show. Thank you, John DePolina, for hopping in. Thank you for Pards for hopping in. Yes, I think UCF's in. I'd love to see him go 2-1 these last three to really lock it in. But that record and those wins, there's not going to be many teams that could have those type of wins on their resume. I'll be honest, they got a better resume than Villanova. And unfortunately, right now, it's UConn and St. John's getting in the dance. Maybe Villanova, right? Villanova better finish strong. That's a big game for Villanova against St. John's because they need to get some big wins. Koepka did have a big move. Did you see he switched to a mallet? Brooks Koepka moved to a mallet. The mallet putters are taking over. I saw a stat the other day. I think there's been 6 tournaments this year or 7, something like that. And all of them but one have been won with a spider putter. Shout out to TaylorMade, sponsored by TaylorMade. TaylorMade putters have won 5 out of 6 or 6 out of 7 tournaments. The spider. Brooks switched to a spider. And he got hot with the putter. And I don't think he used it the first day. I think he went with his old school Cameron blade the first day, then switched to the mount and started making putts all over the place. I'm not a big Brooks guy, not a fan whatsoever, to be honest with you. You're kind of one of my least favorite, but he was making putts today. That's for darn sure. And he made the cut, made a huge move. Absolutely. I like Berger. Plus 165 to come top 10. He's only 1 stroke back. He likes that course. He's won there before, and he's a Florida boy. Michael Braid said, yeah, you're crazy if you don't go to a mallet. I couldn't agree more. I've been mallet for a while. I love the look of a blade putter. But the results aren't as good. It's just, we'll do some more golf stuff as we go, but there's so much more mass. It frames the ball good. If you hit it on the toe or the heel, you still get rollout. Whereas if you hit a blade, you're losing so much momentum. You're losing so much speed off the putter. And you just don't get as good a roll. And that mallet frames it. It kind of wants, mallets are all face balance, which all kind of want to go back to center, not to bore you to death with golf stuff. But anyhow, listen, enjoy Illinois, Michigan. Got a lot of great college basketball games tomorrow. Got some golf on the TV. I got my Final Round of Club Championships, so you know where I'll be. But I'll be peeking in on scores, and I'll be home later on in the evening for that Villanova-St. John's game. There you have it. What I give you for games. We gave you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So a lot less. Last week we had, we went 9-3, so we have 12. We covered the NL Central. We covered the NL West. Next week, AL West. Maybe we'll get the Godfather on with us. Maybe we'll get Jay Joseph. Maybe we'll get Ken Rock. This week was kind of a whirlwind for me, so I didn't have a ton of time to get on and invite those guys to come on. But maybe they'll come on as we cover the AL West. I am on deck in one of my slow drafts. Anyhow, thank you so much. Drizzy Dren, who puts all the stuff on the bottom. Thank you so much. Share this, like, subscribe. We hope to see you soon. Stay tuned for some short videos. If you're watching this in a few days, we'll see you at the Garden. I won't be there at the Garden, man. I wish I could, but you guys enjoy the Garden. Best tournament in the world, Big East tournament. Enjoy. Have a great evening. Weekend.